Hi everyone, welcome to back the channel. Auto Rush. In the realm of modern warfare, few weapons inspire awe and fear quite like the TOS-1. Officially known in Russian as tyažёlая огнемётная система, or heavy flamethrower system, the TOS-1 isn't just a weapon, it's a psychological instrument of destruction. And now, in 2025 and heading into 2026, the TOS-1 is undergoing critical updates that make it more terrifying and effective than ever before. Originally developed in the late Soviet era, the TOS-1 was first used in the 1980s, seeing combat in Afghanistan. Back then, it already presented a shocking new chapter in battlefield tactics. Unlike traditional artillery, which rains down shells or missiles from afar, the TOS-1 operates with a brutal immediacy. It doesn't just destroy, it obliterates. Using thermobaric warheads that create massive overpressure and searing heat, the TOS-1 can turn bunkers, trenches, and entire fortified areas into smoldering craters in seconds. Now, over 40 years later, the TOS-1 has not only survived but evolved. In 2025, Russia began rolling out its latest variants and upgrades to the TOS-1A and the more recent TOS-2 systems. These aren't mere cosmetic changes or modest performance tweaks. They represent a fundamental shift in how Russia intends to use these weapons on the battlefield, especially in light of recent global conflicts and shifting military doctrines. Let's begin by understanding the basic anatomy of the system. The original TOS-1 is mounted on a T-72 main battle tank chassis, which gives it both mobility and armored protection. Its main weapon is a 30-tube launcher capable of firing 220mm rockets loaded with thermobaric or incendiary warheads. These rockets have relatively short ranges, usually between 3.5 to 6 kilometers in the early versions, but what they lack in range, they more than make up for in sheer area effect devastation. The more recent TOS-1A extended that range slightly, and improved fire control and loading systems. Then came the TOS-2, which departed from the tank chassis and instead used a Ural truck-based platform. This change was designed to improve mobility and logistical support while integrating digital targeting systems and advanced fire control. Now, in 2025 and 2026, new variants and system upgrades are pushing this platform into the next generation. Reports indicate that the TOS-1A has received upgrades in mobility, survivability, and accuracy. Russia has focused on integrating improved satellite navigation, battlefield network integration, and better thermal imaging for night operations. There's even speculation that future variants could use AI-assisted fire control for better real-time targeting and situational awareness. In terms of firepower, the thermobaric warheads have become more efficient and lethal. Thermobaric weapons work by dispersing a cloud of flammable aerosol into the air, which is then ignited, causing a massive explosion and vacuum effect. This doesn't just destroy by heat or shrapnel, it kills by sucking the oxygen out of the air, causing internal organ damage and suffocation. Such characteristics make it extremely effective against personnel in fortifications, caves, or bunkers. And in 2025, the warheads have been refined for more consistency, greater yield, and deeper penetration. Another major update lies in the range. While TOS systems have traditionally been criticized for their relatively short range, making them vulnerable to counter-battery fire, the latest generation of rockets reportedly extends their effective distance to around 10 kilometers or more, depending on the variant. This gives Russian forces the ability to deploy these systems with greater safety and flexibility, allowing them to strike deeper into enemy territory while remaining behind friendly lines. The logistical support systems have also improved. Earlier versions required a separate transport loader vehicle to reload the launcher, a time-consuming and vulnerable process. With the TOS-2 and the upcoming updates, this reloading is being partially automated and better shielded. Some experimental prototypes even show signs of modular launch systems that could reduce reload time dramatically. From a strategic standpoint, the TOS-1 and its variants are being positioned as area denial and force multiplier tools. In the 2022-2024 period, during Russia's ongoing military operations, TOS-1 systems were used in urban warfare scenarios to devastating effect. Lessons learned from those operations have directly informed the 2025-2026 upgrades, particularly with regard to mobility in contested terrain and rapid redeployment tactics. Beyond technology and tactics, there's also the matter of production and deployment. Russia has ramped up domestic production and has actively marketed the TOS-1 system to allied nations and defense partners. Countries like Iraq, Kazakhstan, and even Syria have purchased or received variants of the TOS-1. In 2025, India was reported to be exploring thermobaric rocket systems for its own artillery forces, and discussions of co-development or licensed production were hinted at in military trade expos. This export push is strategic. The TOS-1, despite being labeled a flamethrower system, is technically a heavy multiple rocket launcher. Its classification often sidesteps some of the international restrictions that apply to chemical or incendiary weapons, even though its effects are arguably just as terrifying. By exporting it, Russia not only boosts its defense industry but also spreads its military doctrine, one that emphasizes shock, awe, and aggressive area domination.